I found it. We are live.
Okay, good evening. It's 7 o'clock and January 13th, 2021. I'd like to call the meeting for the East Clinton Fire District reorganization meeting to order. The first order of business is to elect a chair and a co-chair. Any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Steve Forstler for chair.
I'll second that.
Any other nominations for chair? Bob Trzynski? Oh, Steve, do you accept the nomination?
Yeah, I'll accept.
Okay, so at this time we'll vote. Bob Trzynski,
Aye.
Russ,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Enthusiastic.
Okay,
That lack of enthusiasm in their voice.
Yeah, it's a joy. Is Mike
So
around or
Steve-
Mike's not in?
Mike said he'll be a little late.
Okay,
All right, so I'll turn the meeting over to Steve then.
all right. So we got a lot of things to get through. I sent everybody a preliminary document to look at, which are the minutes from last year's reorganizational meeting. So we're gonna move basically through that same agenda. We need a nomination for a vice chair. Last year, Bob Trzynski served. You did a fine job, Bob. I would nominate him again.
I'll second that.
For discussion, does anybody want it? What about you, Kev?
Bob, it's all yours.
You accept?
Yes.
Okay, Kevin, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
Bob?
I'll abstain.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries 3-0. I assume, Mike, you're not on yet.
He's not on. I'll let you know he's going to be here.
All right, good deal. Okay, we need to nominate a secretary for 2020. I would nominate Karen Buchel.
I second that.
Okay, any discussion?
I third it.
Karen, do you accept?
I do.
Okay, Russ, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, Bob Simon, do you remember what the budget was for 2021 for secretary salary?
22,000.
22,000 again. Okay, so I would move that the secretary shall be paid a salary of 22,000 for the year 2021 as per the 2021 budget. I need a second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Russ, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. The motion carries. I would move that we appoint Roderick J. McLeod of Mackey Butts and Wise as the attorney for the fire district for 2021. Need a second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Russ, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries 4-0. Okay, Karen, what has your satisfaction been with the Northern Dutchess News?
I mean, it works fine for me.
All right, so I would therefore move that we designate the Northern Dutchess News as the official newspaper for the district for 2021, which means that that's where all our public and official notices will be. I covet a second.
Second.
I got to admit Art and I got to admit Heather. Hold on. Okay, any discussion?
Yeah. Is there anybody of the public that has a problem with that publication for notification? That would be useful to us to know.
Anybody out there? Art, Elliot, Heather, who've had issues with finding out the information. Of course, we try to replicate it here. We try to replicate it onto the the website as well,
And also Facebook, Steve.
and also Facebook, Steve. All right, since we've had heard no objections from the public, and we do have a motion, I will poll the commissioners. Russ, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
who am I forgetting? Bob?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. And who just came on the line on the phone?
Susan.
Oh, okay, I just wanted to make sure we didn't have Mike on the phone and we weren't ignoring him. Okay. We need to appoint a special bank. I would therefore move that we appoint the Bank of Millbrook as the official bank for the district. I need a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, and one of the reasons that we're kind of, I won't say stuck, but one of the few choices that we have for Bank of Millbrook, just for informational purposes, they're one of the few institutions around that will collateralize deposits in excess of the federal government guaranteed amount, and that is a state requirement. So, any other discussion on that? Okay, Bob, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Okay, we need to designate an auditing commissioner. Last year, I served as auditing commissioner. Would be happy to do so in the future if someone would care to nominate me.
I'll nominate the chair, Steve Forsler, as being
Okay.
the auditing commissioner.
Need a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Russ, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. We need to designate 2 commissioners in addition to Bob Simon to be able to sign checks. The current commissioners are Mike DiGiacomo and Bob Trzynski. I would renominate them for 2021. I need a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, Kevin, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Now,
Could I ask
Karen,
you a question before you go further?
what's that?
Could I ask you a question? I'm looking at the previous one, and you had Byron and myself down, and it said to sign checks. We were signing vouchers. Do we need a thing of us to sign the vouchers?
Well, I have, it's everybody's responsible to review the vouchers and designate that they have done so. So I don't know that we need,
Okay, because you had me down for signing checks last time, and I wasn't doing it. It was,
yeah, somehow that changed. Barney resigned and something happened.
okay,
I'm not
well,
sure what the history is there.
sounds like you're on track right this year, so.
Well, there's no sense changing it if it's working. All right, Karen last month gave us a sheet with all the pertinent dates on it. I don't know if anybody's here. It is 2021 meeting dates. So, did anybody check these?
Yeah, I put it on a calendar.
Mike's
they all
here, by
fall
the
on
way.
Wednesday.
Mike D's here. I unmuted it. Yeah, try it. Don't do it.
So we have January 13th, February
Fine.
10th, March 10th,
Don't listen to me.
April 14th, May 12th, June 16th, July 14th, August 11th, September 15th, October 13th, November 10th, and December 15th as the regular board meetings. So I would move that we set those dates, times, and, well, dates and times, they're all at 7 o'clock, and places in the current COVID situation, I would say that we will be unable to do. So dates and times. Somebody needs to turn off his pager.
Whoever's phone number is 1526 is where it's coming from.
Yeah, sorry, I'm on shift,
Oh, okay. All right.
so
That's
I'll
true.
do my best.
Yeah.
I'll try to mute it. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna, oh, Mike, you're in.
I can
I'm
mute it.
in.
Okay. Didn't realize. Sorry, did I skip over you at all or not?
Yeah,
But just once. That's
Oh,
okay.
I do apologize.
I'd be voting for myself anyway, so.
You've just been
Right.
appointed chair, Mike.
So we,
Sweet. I'm sorry for all of you.
so we have a motion on the floor. I covered a second to approve those as the meeting dates with the time at 1900 hours.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion?
Jumps in quick, doesn't it? That's right. Don't mess around.
Bob, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Russ,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Okay, last year we posted it on the district and town websites. Karen, you'll make sure that that gets forwarded to the town website, please.
Yep, will do.
All right, and Bob, you'll get that posted on the district website,
Yes,
please, and Facebook if possible.
I can paste it anywhere you want.
Thank you. Okay, I would move that we approve memberships and dues to the following associations. First, New York State Association of Fire Chiefs. Second, Association of Fire Districts of Dutchess County. Thirdly, Fire Chiefs Council of Dutchess County. And fourthly, FASNY. I covered a second.
I'll second, Steve.
Any discussion? Russ, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. I would move that we authorize the treasurer, working in conjunction with Mr. Pasikoff, to submit the annual 2019 treasurer's report to the comptroller's office by February 28th, also known as the AUD. I covered a second.
Gotta be a 2020, not 2019.
2021, thank you.
Yeah, but you said submit the annual 2019.
Oh, it's the 2020 by 2/28/21. Thank you.
Second,
I need a second with the corrected language.
second.
Any discussion? Are you in on that, Bob Simon?
Bob Simon hears it, yes.
Okay, Bob, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. I would move that we renew the treasurer's bonds with the district's insurance company. I covered a second.
Second for discussion.
Discussion.
Yeah, I think we're all bonded. I don't think we have an independent bond for the treasurer on our current insurance company. We're all bonded equally.
Yeah, and I think it runs out in March.
Yes,
Well, now we don't have to, if we vote for this, we don't have to discuss renewing it, do we?
okay. So then, yep, okay, good.
All right, Kevin,
Aye.
Russ,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Okay, boys, here's where it gets harder. Karen, you gotta take good notes here. House committee. Last year was myself and Mike. I would be willing to serve on the House Committee because I am there more frequently than anybody else. I don't know if anybody else would like to serve on that.
Going to be seen as the
What's that? Anybody else that would like to be on the House Committee? Kevin,
Yeah.
you're kind of, how about you?
What's the House Committee consist of, Steve? I mean,
I think basically repairs and keeping it in safe and in order.
Well, if nobody else wants to,
Okay,
Wait, Mike, come on.
all
I
right.
mean, Mike was there. Mike?
I don't want to fight with Kevin. He's too scary.
Oh, no, Mike, there's no fight. You were there. I think you did an excellent job.
I didn't really do anything.
Yes.
I don't think there was, I don't know. I wasn't asked to do a lot and I didn't really do a lot on that. So.
Well, it's pretty low key. That's an easy one. So we don't want to spend a lot of time there. If
Okay,
Kevin,
well,
if you're willing.
That fine, Steve. Yep.
All right, so the non-signers should be on the check audit committee, so that by default would be Tompkins, Fierro, and Forschler. Apparatus committee last year was Forschler and DeGiacomo. I think, Mike, you're well suited for that with your truck experience, if you're willing.
Yeah, I'm happy to stay on that.
All right, policy committee, Trzynski, and last year was myself. Russ, you're really good at language and verbiage and reading things and sifting through that stuff. Can I ask you to be on there?
What is that? To change the policy like Rod's been doing? Is that it?
Yeah, to work with Rod and take a closer look and recommend the policy for the next consideration and so on.
Yeah, all right.
I appreciate that. Insurance liaison.
Wait a moment, Steve, you're going to be on it also, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
Wait, that's the policy committee?
yeah,
Is it
policy
free?
be Trzynski, Russ, and Forschler.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Insurance liaison. All right,
Bob's
Bob,
the
I
man.
know you've voiced some frustration, but I also need some help.
He's doing a good job.
Well, we're going to talk about that now or later then. If
Well,
you're
let's
gonna
talk
put
about
my
it now.
Okay, communications from the company to me during activities that require input to the insurance company are really problematic. Without fixing that, I don't want anything to do with it.
Well, that's why I'm willing to be joint with you so that I can help to improve that.
As long as you don't pass it off to me
I'm
with the
not gonna pass
documents
it
that are
off.
not filled in by the chief.
I'm
And
on your side, Bob.
Okay,
So insurance
Oh.
liaison, Trzynski and Forschler. Tech liaison, I'm willing to do it again unless somebody else wants it. LoSAP, I would really like, Bob, for you to consider to continue.
yeah,
with that.
I'll take it for one more year.
All right, safety, I am more than willing to do that. And that kind of is connected to the insurance liaison, and that's why I really want to be that. Election, Karen, that was you last year. I think that is by law that you're responsible for that.
Mhm.
Website. I just harassed Bob Simon. That's pretty easy. Records retention, Trzynski and Tompkins. Are we good with that?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Sometime
Well, just a quick for instance, we don't kill it long. On the LoSAP, we now know that for 55 years, we need to have the summaries all in one place. The individual run sheets have to be kept for 6 years running. We drop off the oldest one. That's a part of the records retention, but things like finding the not registration, but the ownership of our vehicles, that type of stuff. And it's starting to get better, but it ain't there yet.
It is starting to get better. We good with Trzynski and Tompkins?
Yes,
Annual dinner, Forschler and DiGiacomo. Mike?
Yeah, I could do that again.
Okay, and then audit liaison. Bob, that was you last year. You willing to do
I
it
can take
again?
it. I can take it. The audit liaison.
Yeah, and then the
Steve-
facilities committee.
Steve, hold on one second. Just want to tell you, Jim Pasikoff's trying to get in the meeting.
Oh. Thanks.
Sorry to interrupt. Yep.
Facilities committee, Fierro and Tompkins, I would like to keep you two on that if you're willing.
Yeah, I guess, okay.
All right, and welcome, Jim. Sorry, I was ignoring you. We're still in the organizational meeting, so.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Okay, Karen, can you read that back?
Yeah, because I have a question anyway. All right, the House Committee, Steve and Kevin, Forschler and Fierro. Check audit, Tompkins, Fierro, Forschler. Apparatus Committee, DiGiacomo. Is there another person?
Myself.
I thought so, but it's okay. Let me just get that in there. Policy, Trzynski, Tompkins, Forschler. Insurance, Trzynski, Forschler. Tech, Forschler. LoSAP, Trzynski. Safety, Forschler. Election, myself. Website sign-in. Records retention, Trzynski, Tompkins. Annual dinner, Forschler, DiGiacomo. Audit, audit liaison, Trzynski. Facilities committee, Fierro and Tompkins.
That's how I have it. Anybody dispute that? If there are no disputes, I will so move that, and I seek a second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Mike, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Anybody know what the mileage rate is for 2021? And it doesn't matter because we're going to resolve to set the mileage rate for approved travel as the rate set by the Internal Revenue Service for 2021. The travel allowance is established by IRS Regulation 1542. I seek a second.
I'll second, Steve. I'll look
Okay,
it up now.
discussion. Very good.
Right now,
Mike, what?
right now it's 56 cents,
56 cents. Thanks,
Yeah.
Jim.
but that can change anytime.
Yep.
And that decreased 1.5 cents from last year.
Oh, it's lower than last year.
Yeah, 1.5.
It'll be going up for long because prices of gas gonna go up.
Yep. Any other
What?
discussion?
When does the 56 cents become effective?
January 1st.
Oh, okay. So I just signed one that was 57.5 cents.
That was for last year. Was it for last year's mileage?
That was for Kevin Russell.
Yeah, but was it for mileage that he did last year?
I don't know, I'm looking it up. Stand by. He's gonna lose like 12 cents here. He's pissed. Let's see, his mileage was from 1/13/2021.
All right. Well, we've approved it. I don't think it's worth fighting about the 12 cents. Bob Simon, be advised that moving forward it's 56 cents, but we still need a motion to pay it. So Kevin, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. That motion carries. The poll of commissioners last year, we should have corrected because we have a Russell DiGiacomo and a Michael Tompkins. But
That would be an interesting combination.
Yeah.
we can't fix it now. Okay.
Ride this time.
So the motion we had last year was that any district vehicles used for district activities, including classes or lectures on or off site, calls or alarms, drills or acts outside the district and other activities as approved by the board are to be covered under VFBL, and that any active members participating in company activities, including fundraisers and parades as approved by the district, be covered under VFBL, with the onus on the company and the district chief coming to the Board of Commissioners meeting prior to the event for approval. Non-active members who participate in company activities would be covered under the district's general liability insurance. I covered a second for discussion.
Second for discussion.
Okay, discussion.
Steve, that notice is one board meeting beforehand or 30 days. So we don't get it a week before, we won't be able to.
I actually have a list of activities from the department for 2021 that I will present in the general meeting.
But if there's any outliers,
Yep.
like out of district stuff, we need a one meeting notice beforehand.
I'm in here. Do you want?
This is Don. We do have a problem with that, and we've addressed that before. So you can't make a blanket on that. In the example of wakes and funerals that we can't pre-plan, where the board needs to be notified, it will not be a meeting in advance. It can't be.
Well, and calls or alarms are part of this as well. So obviously that request is situational.
Okay.
But the board,
Any other
as a group, we need 3 board members to approve.
Correct. So this is district vehicles used for district activities, including classes or lectures, calls or alarms, drills, or acts outside the district and other activities as approved by the board to be covered under VFBL. And active members participating in company activities, including fundraisers and parades as approved by the board, be covered under VFBL, with the onus in the company and the district chief coming to the Board of Commissioners prior to the event for approval as able.
Steve, we need to talk to Rod on the parade portion for VFBL coverage. There was just something I remember on one of the insurances. There was something that I was surprised at hearing. So we can vote on this, but we got to just run it by Rod.
Yeah, that's where we were last year.
Okay.
Kevin, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Russ,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. I got to try to let somebody into the meeting here. Glenda. All right, we got that person in. All right, what else we got here? So this motion is in regards to, this is the one I think specific to, or more specific to parades. And it would be that I would move that any district vehicles that would be taken out of the district for company events, a company representative must be at the Board of Fire Commissioners meeting prior to the event to obtain approval as recommended by the chief.
Good.
Now, wording on that is slightly different, Karen. You got that?
Yep, the district vehicles.
Yeah, district vehicles for a company event.
Right.
So I would move that any company vehicle or district vehicle that will be out of district for a company event, a company representative must be at the Board of Commissioners meeting prior to the event to obtain approval as recommended by the chief of the district. So there's a lot of players there. That is my motion. I covered a second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Mike, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. We've established a petty cash fund for $100. It was determined it was eliminated last year. Is there any need for a petty cash fund, Karen or Bob?
No.
No,
Okay, then we'll skip over that. I would move that we permit the treasurer to pay in advance of voucher audit the following: lights and utilities, postage and freight, bond payments, recurring salaries, phone charges, health insurance, liability and other insurance charges, and other regularly recurring submittals by vendors. I covered a second.
I'll second.
Okay,
Mike's
any
got it.
discussion? So Bob, it's utilities, postage, freight, bond payments, salaries, phone charges, health insurance, liability, and other insurance charges, and other regularly recurring submittals. Mike, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Bob, what's the budget for the treasurer's salary for 2021?
13.2.
All right, so I would move that. The treasurer shall be paid a salary of $13,200 for the year 2021. I covered a second.
Second it.
Any discussion? That's the budget. Russ, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Okay, I would move that the rescue squad captain and the district chiefs are authorized and pre-approved to spend up to $500 monthly to maintain supplies and other essential equipment without prior commissioner approval. I covered a second.
Second for discussion.
Go ahead.
The verbiage that you're using there would say that it would be 500 for each.
That is correct.
Wait a moment. You mean we've got we got
No,
the
no,
chief
no.
and 2 assistant chiefs.
District chief, my chief was
Oh,
singular.
chief. Okay, chief. Okay, I'm
It
good.
was when I thought you said it was for each, I thought you were talking about the rescue squad captain and the district chief singular.
Okay, yeah, that works.
All right. So chief singular, Karen, even though that's the way it was. Any other discussion?
Is there more than one rescue squad captain?
No, so that should be singular as well. Good point,
Yep.
Rusty. That's why you're on the policies committee. That kind of stuff will get you in trouble. Any other discussion? So Karen, you got captain and chief
Yep.
singular?
Yep.
Thank you. Russ, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. I would move that the board appoint Karen Buchel as the LoSAP records keeper for the district for the year 2021 at a rate of $25 per hour to be paid once annually in December. Second for discussion.
I'll second.
Okay, Karen, is that sufficient still, or what's your pleasure?
yeah, no, that's fine.
That's fine?
Mhm.
Okay, any other discussion? Mike, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries 5-0. Okay, I would move that the board appoint Jim Pasikoff of Pasikoff and Scott CPAs for the year 2021 at a rate of, help me, Jim, $16.50
That's 16.50.
Correct.
per month. I need a second.
I'll
Second.
second.
Any discussion? Mike,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Russ,
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Oh, we already did that one. We can move on. Okay, Art Wyland, are you still willing to serve on the facilities committee?
Yes, that'll be good.
Um, Elliot, are you still willing to serve as on the facilities committee?
Yes.
Thank you. Has Bill Baldwin been participating at all? I know he's wary of the dreaded COVID, and I don't blame him.
I've spoken to him 4 or 5 times and tried to keep him up to speed. So he'll be glad to participate when he can meet in person, and he'd be glad to get any documents that it would help for him to see.
Okay, so there I would therefore appoint Bill Baldwin, Art Wyland, and Elliot Warner as the civilian representatives on the facilities committee. Are there any other matters that need discussion?
Do you need a full resolution on that, or we just do it?
I get to appoint.
Okay, good. Okay.
Any other issues for discussion? Because otherwise we can adjourn. Yeah, I need a motion to adjourn at 7:41. Karen, we're 4 minutes quicker than last year.
Good going.
Good
Make the motion to
going.
adjourn.
I need a motion and a second.
I make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Very good. Russ, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. I'm going to take a 1-minute break and I will come back and we will commence the regular meeting.
1 minute break.
Okay.
Let's time them.
All I know is the rescue captain's here now and I have to get the report.
Yeah. Cheers.
The screen. See?
How come she get the green phone there? Well, it's just a
I don't know why her phone's
faceless blob thing.
because she's probably calling from the phone. They're all probably calling from the computer.
Oh,
Want to let me in the meeting? Oh, when Steve gets back, let him know, let Susan in the meeting.
oh, she's not in it.
Wait,
She's right there, isn't that her? 1526.
All
Yeah,
right.
she may have muted her own output there.
hey, Steve, oh wait, never mind, still on the phone.
Who we got? I
No.
muted.
Did you mute Susan?
Yes, I did.
Uh-oh, she was misbehaving.
She says she can hear anything everybody's saying. Instead, she's gonna hang up and zoom in on the, so if you
Is she
could,
gonna hang up or she want me to unmute her? I'm not ready for her.
she's gonna hang up and she's gonna re-enter the Zoom meeting.
Oh, Elliot must have bounced it out.
Nope.
All right, we're gonna call the regular meeting to order. At 7:43, Karen, I'm a little peaked, boys, so I don't want this to go forever. The agenda's a little bit truncated. But I honestly, between work and other things going on, have limited energy. So I'm probably good to 9, but after that, I will probably need to clock out. So I'm just telling you ahead of time.
Sounds good to me.
Amen.
Pooped.
Reach it.
Been a tough week. Correspondence. Bob Simon, what is our situation with the first responder newspaper? How many subscriptions do we have and when do they run out?
I'd have to go look, Steve.
All right, because I have 2 continuation notices for December to extend our first responder subscription through December of 2021 at $85. If you would look at that, I think we can revisit that next month.
Right, what I typically do is if you approve it during the reorg, I go back and I look to see when we did the subscription. If I get these erroneous subscription notices, I ignore them if I've already done it. So I will go back and I'll give you a report next meeting.
All right, so do we want to move? I will move that we authorize Bob um, to subscribe to First Responder newspaper, contingent upon him checking to make sure that we are due to do so. I covered a second.
Second,
Any discussion? All right, so you got that, Bob? If we're in, if we need it, go. If not, don't.
Got it.
And
Have to vote on that? We got a
I
second.
oh yeah, it's a good idea, Russ. Russ, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Bob?
aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. We also got 3 checks, which is a little confusing to me. In memory of
Gerald Odell.
Gerald Odell.
Say Mike Tompkin.
Who is it?
I was joking.
Yeah, Mike Tompkins or Russ DeGiacomo, one or the other.
Yeah.
There must have been a notice asking people to give money in memory of. They're $100. They're made out to the district, but we can't accept them. And the usual practice is to forward them through to the company. And unless somebody objects, I will be doing so. That is all we have for correspondence. Okay, we all have had opportunity to review the minutes from the regular December meeting. I have one correction, but we'll get to that once we get the motion made. So I need a motion to accept the minutes.
Make a motion to accept them, but I have about 3 or 4 comments to maybe corrections in them.
All right, so if we get a second, we'll discuss those.
I'll
Second.
second.
All right, Russ, what do you have?
Page 3,
Yeah,
under car 1, the 4th bullet says directives have been met as requested by Chairman Forsley, and the board and mass are now should be required. It needs a D after require.
okay.
Page 4, car 3 towards the bottom, Assistant Chief Kevin Russell, brakes will be fixed at Juniors. Should we note what vehicle that was?
3871, thank you.
Okay. Page 5, I don't know if this is important or not, but right in the middle of the page, motion was made by Chief Forster, seconded by Trzynski to adjourn the second executive session. There's no time there, but then there's a time below when we come back at 7:41. Does that make a difference?
We didn't record the time, we can't put it down.
I didn't record the time.
Okay.
Page 8,
Well, before we get to page 8, page 7, decon gear. There are certain cancers that firefighters, I don't know what I said, but I meant to say susceptible to. So if we could change conducive to susceptible, I think that would be more correct.
Mhm.
Okay, page 8, Russ.
yeah, page 8. Let me see what I got highlighted. Second paragraph, when you were talking about, it's about the 4th line down. Chairman Forsley said we need to add a cleaning list and we need to start sealing it. I don't know what that means. Sealing the tile in the bathroom or start
No, I
sealing?
don't, we need to add a well,
Oh, you meant like putting a paper over it and stuff so people don't go in there and do.
oh, yeah.
Move
We
it
were
when they're
gonna
not
try to,
supposed to.
we're gonna try to seal the door. So we needed to add, once we get that shower up to snuff, we need to add it to the cleaning list.
Right.
Oh,
And our intention is to seal the door so it doesn't get unnecessarily,
Secure the room, maybe?
yeah. All right, and we need to secure the room.
got it.
Okay, that's more clear. Thank you. See, Russ, this is why you're on the policies committee. What else you got?
Page 9, down about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines up. It starts with Commissioner Tompkins said this is on a truck chassis, so won't be any higher or bigger, so should fit. I think I said this is on a truck chassis, so will it fit? And then Forstler said you thought you were 99.44% chance it will fit. I mean,
Yeah,
I
okay.
think it's confusing. It should be, so will it fit into the firehouse? Because the truck chassis is higher than the van chassis possibly.
All right, so that we'll record that as the question. Any other changes, Russ?
No, that was the last one.
All right, who made the motion and who made the,
Russ and Bob.
okay, so we need to change that motion to approve the minutes with the corrections and additions as stated. Is that acceptable?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Russ, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Financials. We all have had opportunity to review the vouchers. And Bob Simon has submitted a new abstract. I don't know if anybody,
Yeah, there was 2 more checks.
Yeah, there was 2 other bills that came in, Steve. I have them here. One is for the Iceman for $312.12. And the other one was for A1 Communications at $199.90.
right, so let me see here what we got here.
Maybe we can
New
add
vouchers
those.
for approval. 2 attachments, January abstract, open in browser. Zoom. Share screen. Now I gotta be able to find it. I think it's opening here. What do we see on the screen, boys and girls?
Your
It's
name
still,
would
it's still loading.
Oh, now it says East Clinton Fire District at
Yeah.
gmail.com.
I think I can get rid of that. Oh, it just stopped. I was gonna try to share the abstract, but I'm not doing well with that. Here comes it.
Fun to watch you try, though.
You gotta have your tongue in a certain spot too, right?
I hope nobody smacks the back of your
Yeah,
head.
if you hold it right here, it works much better. I'm sure of it. Crud, I'm not finding it.
We all got it on the email, so we're good.
All right. So so we have a new abstract. I need a motion to pay the bills per the abstract.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we need a second.
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 All right, any discussion, questions, objections, considerations?
Do we have to, Kevin or I have to get somewhere to sign those 2 vouchers for those last 2 checks?
Next month.
Yeah, we all got to get our John Hancocks on those.
Right, next month, what I'll do is I'll have you guys sign the new vouchers and sign those as well.
Okay.
Very good.
But Bob, you're gonna pay him beforehand though, right? The board knows about it.
That's correct. Mike signed it and I can also co-sign.
Yeah, that's fine.
All righty, Bob, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Russ,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. I have had opportunity to review the bank statement, and I do find that they are in agreement with the financial statements as published by Mr. Paskoff and Mr. Simon, and would therefore move that we accept same. I covered a second.
Second.
All right, Bob, you had the opportunity to look at them as well.
They look good.
All righty. Bob, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. All right. While we're in finances, AUD. Bob, we already determined that you're going to start work on that. Our goal is 228 or an extension beforehand. You and Jim Paskoff are going to get together and start work on that, right?
That's correct.
All right. Independent audit. This is my 8th year. I'm 0 for 7. I really want to get it in on time. We need to commence the activity with the people whose name I can't remember. Help me, people.
RBT.
Yeah, that's it. What's the strategy? Who's going to go after them? And good evening, Rod. Who's going to approach them and start this ball rolling?
Well, what we'll do is that as soon as we get the AUD done, you should, I'm thinking based on some things that I've seen that we should put it on extension. The board will approve the AUD at your March meeting, and then we will file it. So it'll go in like March, whatever the second Thursday of March is. But I think the board should review it before we file it.
The AUD, and I think
And-
I have a note here. Also next meeting, and this is something I must have gotten, I have a note that we should do a fixed asset review, and that was one of the things that came out of the last year's audit, is
Yeah.
that we should review before.
That's one of the reasons you should review it. We'll give you the list of the fixed assets along with the AUD for your March meeting, and then you can approve it and we can file it.
All right, that's the plan then for the AUD, and we're going to commence on the independent audit right after that.
And then we'll contact RBT on Friday after the meeting.
Okay, that's the plan.
And Jim, they're going to accept us. There's no problem there. We've got the option.
The option is the other way around. If you don't want them, we really need to do something to choose new auditors before the end to get started.
Yeah, I thought we made a multi-year commitment.
We have a commitment, a 5-year commitment with them, but we can break that at the end of any year.
Well, I mean, I
I don't see a
to do
need.
that.
That's not why I asked. I wanted to make sure that, because to get them to accept us, we had to do some fancy footwork.
No, we're good now. The
Okay.
they're happy with the current clientele.
Okay, good. That's all I meant, not the other way around.
Okay.
Okay, where to go next? Don, I think you're up.
What do you got here? Yeah, you can reach it from there.
Do we have any other questions for Jim Pasikoff? I guess not, Jim.
Well,
Thank you much. You're
thanks
about
for
to get busy,
reappointing me.
aren't you?
Thanks for reappointing me. Good night.
All right, have a good night. Donald.
Happy New Year, gentlemen and ladies and everybody in the listening audience. One thing first, to just clarify completely with the board. I am the chief of the fire district. I have nothing to do with the company membership. I'm not responsible for the members of the company. That is a separate thing. Unless they're on a fire or training, the membership does not belong to the chief. It belongs to the president. Let that be very clear on that going forward. If there's an issue with reports regarding membership, that is from the company, not the district chief. Needs to be pursued through the company. And I think that is something that does need to actively be pursued. For the month of December, we had 5 calls, a rather slow month. We ended up with 107 calls for the year, which were up 28 from the previous year. So we did have a bountiful year, if you would, and had 100% response, 100%. The drill for January will be the cold water or ice rescue drill, also known as drown your local fire chief. And the drills are scheduled again, 2 drills a month. The third Tuesday of the month will be, third Thursday of the month will be the fire drills. No, I did it again. Third Tuesday of the month will be the fire drills, and the 4th Tuesday of the month will be EMS drills. So we'll have in the neighborhood of 24 drills for the year. give or take. Again, on Monday nights, all members are encouraged to come down, and we train on Monday nights. And if the training goes over 2 hours, it actually qualifies as a drill with the proper OSHA and everything else therein. On that being said, the driver training is commencing again for 2021. All drivers have to be recertified and their certifications documented. Members will be encouraged to come down and do that, weather permitting. Weather permitting, also recertification on all the pumps as it is done and required as it should be every year. The membership has been informed of the new officer requirements, which for officers, what they would get for their, what they must complete as officers, which your chief totally agrees on. So let's see what else. Going over the driver sheets. We're going to discuss the sign-in sheet, I believe, going on, Stephen. 63 is going to juniors tomorrow to have the water pump looked at. Hose test will be scheduled when we know the weather is clear. Usually I wait until the Upton Lake Christian School is on recess in the spring so we can have the parking lot there with permission. Kevin's got the VIN number to check for the records for the potential new ambulance from Sharon, Connecticut. Thank you, Sue, for getting that. So he's going to get the maintenance records or repair records from juniors and also from Northeast Ford. So we'll have that. I'm thinking anything else on that, the drills. I believe that's all I have at this time.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Steve, I got a question for Don.
Go ahead.
Rehab vehicle. What's the status? Has that thing failed? And do you have the error codes if it has?
No, yes, yes, no.
The board really needs to know what the status is on that, Don.
I don't work
I'm more
on
than
it.
willing to teach anybody that wants to hear it how to pull the codes, because that's completely fixable. When I talked to the Hitchcock, they didn't even take the error codes. So we got to do it ourselves.
My suggestion, Bob, because I'm not doing any more with it, is come down, run it. It will fail in half an hour and pull the error codes.
Okay, how do you turn the thing on? I didn't fool around with it.
Is there a 12-volt switch on that, Don? I think is what he's asking, because I didn't think there was on that vehicle.
Unplug it, turn the gas on the other side, and flip the switch from shore power to generator.
And that'll start it.
No,
You don't have to have there's no 12 volts. Okay.
You have to hit start.
I'll give it a go.
All right, any other questions for Don? Do we have Mr. Bathrick present? Negative. Do we have Mr. Russell present?
Nope.
Oh, all right. Susan. Are you there?
You have her on mute.
No, I'm keep asking her to unmute.
Well, let's see. I can do rescue if you want.
Oh, you're in trouble.
Unless when she comes back on. Rescue had a busy month for December, 15 calls for 15 for December, with a total, I think, of 141, correct, Don?
Let's see, there was a total of 248, and there was 107, so do the math.
She says she's here,
Hello?
Steve, so.
There she is.
There,
Hello?
she's there.
Good save.
I'm here. I'm here. Who
All right,
knows I'm here?
Bob said 15 and 141, but that's all he said so far.
That's correct. So we did. We had 15 calls for December and with 141 for the year. And that does include the call that some people, I guess, decided to donate some money for. in memory of one of the patients. We had, let's see, overall, out of all of the transports that we needed to do, that needed to go to the hospitals, we did all of them except for 6 because, we just didn't have EMTs on scene 4 times.
And
So I
that's for
think
the
that's
year.
phenomenal for the year. Yeah, so that's 95%, thereabouts. So considering that we're a small squad, I think that's pretty amazing. And thank you to the fire part as well. We couldn't have done it without a combination and the full team. So drills. So the drills that our next drill is going to be on the 4th Tuesday, and this time we're going to be focusing on the skills that are needed for fall, being that we do have ice, it is still winter, and splinting and that. Let's see what else. It's a little odd doing this on the phone, I can tell you. So. COVID, let's update you on COVID. So as the board requested, I did develop a sheet so that anyone who is on scene involved in patient care, that sheet will be filled out after each and every call, not just the ones that we are confirmed that are COVID positive, but for each one. Any questions about that?
No, and we're forwarding those forms to Karen so that she can put it into an incident report in each person's personnel file. And we're also forwarding a copy of that form with a copy of the run sheet to Karen so she can put it in a COVID file. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right.
Chief, do you want to speak about that?
What?
She's gone. Do you want to just comment about the COVID sheet that's going in the folder for Karen?
Well, we're doing
how that's being prepared.
We're doing a lot of homework extra with the regular sheet, and it breaks it down as to the exposure or non-potential exposure. Well, we don't have exposures with our PPE, which we enforce them to wear. So with the PPE, that's a negative exposure, but we're still following through and properly doing so. Also in Karen's COVID file, it's called KCF. It's almost like Kentucky Fried Chicken. She gets that, but we also do a run sheet of all members on the call and also a CAD report. So there's the full thing for every call that we do on EMS. And the one thing that the members responding and the, for the restrictions put in, if it's a known COVID, basically Sue's going in and the limited exposure. Members responding who are not EMTs are told to stage at the ambulance and wait instructions. So we are really limiting any household entrance COVID or no COVID to the point of only those that are necessary to transfer or provide patient care. Very diligent about that.
That's correct. And to date, yes, thank you, Dawn. And to date, we've just had 2 known COVID calls. So, but there's been no exposure, and no one's had any kind of symptoms or anything besides. As far as the vaccine, up until Monday, the 11th, they were only vaccinated Tier 1A, and it was put out to those who were eligible in the Tier 1A, and 4 of the members scheduled and have received their first dose and will go back to Northern Dutchess in now less than 28 days, but to receive their second dose. The rest of the membership are in Tier 1B, and as it was explained at the recent company meeting, the details and how they can go about to schedule their appointments. I am told that since the 11th, that appointments have filled up very, very fast, and that there really aren't any openings for a few weeks. But I'm sure everybody who is interested in getting the vaccine will do so. Okay. As far as the ambulance, our current ambulance, the equipment that we have that requires the maintenance, so the annual maintenance, that has been done. Sean came out last week after we had a problem with our stretcher. We were able to find that problem, and then while he was there, he, you know, also did the maintenance, or shall I say, while he came to do the maintenance, he did the repair. Let's see.
And just to
Any
add
questions?
to that, when
Yes.
when the state auditors come out every 3 years to audit our rig and our storage facility, my experience is the first thing they look at is the PM records, the preventative maintenance records on the devices that carry patients. And that if one of those failed and we did not have the PMs, I would think you would have some major litigation issues. So that's why we do that.
Right. Right. So we're, you know, we're all in good standing there. And one of the things that Sean did let us know about our current Furno Striker, because of the age of it and the way that we use it, is that stretcher is actually considered just about obsolete. So
Yeah,
if
that was
the
a
panel
Freudian
goes,
slip there, Susan.
what?
You said our
one?
current striker.
Oh, no, I said our current Furno.
You said
Our
our
current
current
Furno.
Furno striker. She meant Furno stretcher, Karen.
Stretcher. Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. I'm on shift in Dover. It's been a busy day. I'm on a 24-hour shift. So, okay. So yeah. So it being that it's about obsolete, that if the panel goes that operates or tells the stretcher to go up and down goes, it would be very hard pressed to replace and repair that, or repair and replace that. So it's a really good thing that we are already moving forward with getting the ambulance from Sharon and the stretcher there. So,
Right.
I have two other things. One quick question is about with the budget. So that our current budget of $500 a month has always been, you know, plenty for us. My question to the board is, what happens to the surplus? What happens to the money that's not spent? And the reason for my, go ahead.
Any monies that aren't spent, any budget surplus that we have, whether it's supplies or insurance money or anything else, the board makes a determination after we know what our financial situation is, and they're usually put into reserve funds for either equipment purchase or facility upgrade.
Okay, so the reason for my question was a piece of equipment that I would at some point like to get, and I will pursue trying to get a grant for it, is a Lucas CPR device. So I just wondered if, you know, if we're not spending the money, if after 2 years, 3 years, we've, you know, had that in surplus, if that could be earmarked.
Susan,
Yeah.
how much you talking about?
A Lucas device is, they're going for about $16,000.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
That's budget
yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's
Right,
budget time. By
right.
the way,
So-
Susan, my company has a relationship with Lucas, and I might be able to get a really good price on one.
Fantastic. Well, let's have a further conversation, because especially since, you know, things are going the way they are, the nature, and, you know, with limited personnel, it would be very beneficial to our company.
Yep.
So, okay. All right. And I guess you probably tell me when you want to talk about the response card.
We're not
Is that
right
at this
there yet,
point,
but
or?
if you hang
No,
on,
okay.
if you hang
Okay,
on, we'll
I'm gonna
we'll
do
hit
my
it at
best.
some point, and if you don't, we'll
Okay,
hit
great.
it anyways.
Okay, great. All right.
All
Thanks.
right. Any other questions for
Okay,
Susan?
great.
Alrighty, thank you.
Great.
Rod,
welcome.
you were listening when we talked about the new paperwork we're doing relative to COVID responses. And I think it pretty much fulfilled what you and I had spoken about.
Yes.
And question
oh.
for you
Is that us?
relative, are any squads or organizations requiring personnel, EMS personnel, to take the vaccine, or
No, I'm not aware of any departments requiring the vaccine to be taken.
I'm
Do
just
you think
pondering
that
that.
could change, Rod? Once time starts going on?
There are probably some problems with requiring everyone to get something injected into their body.
Right.
And what are you willing to do if someone says, I'm not getting the shot?
Well, I mean, so the penalty for not getting the flu shot used to be you have to wear a mask, but that's kind of funny, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And of course, something like that, someone comes in the firehouse with no mask on, and you say, why haven't you got a mask on? Well, I've got the shot. Prove you got the shot. What proof does someone have they got the shot?
Well, they're talking about for being able to fly and certain other activities to actually have it either a document or embedded on your phone. So that is coming.
Yeah, but I just read an article, I think it was in the newspaper, where even if you get the shot, they say you are supposed to continue the same procedure of wearing the mask, because there is a 10% chance that it isn't going to work for you. And they want you to still do the PPE regardless of whether you get the vaccine or not.
And it's not clear
May I
that if you have
interject?
the vaccine, you may still be
Hold
a
on.
carrier.
Go ahead, Susan.
So some of the current research is also saying that these vaccines will just limit that they won't prevent you from getting the virus, but they will limit your symptoms. So that is why it is still required, even if you are vaccinated, it is still required for you to have PPE, still be masked, and still quarantine if you've been exposed.
So you can still
So
be a
vaccine-
carrier, like Rod was saying.
Yes, exactly. So long as you are properly PPE'd and following good hygiene and all the other, things that we should be doing regardless. In other words, don't be falsely, think that you are going not to, what do I want to say?
No big red
don't
S
be-
on your chest.
Yeah, exactly. Just because you've been vaccinated, you can still be positive.
All right. All right. Any other questions for Rod on this? I mean, I think we pretty much know where we're headed. Okay, just a note, active member roster, January 4th or so, Karen, you and I got letters to members who did not make active member requirements. I believe we sent 5 members who were in the territory of mitigation would be possible by the end of February, and we sent to 2 members who didn't even come close, and we asked them to turn in their gear. So Don, for your information, I have responses from 2 of those members, and I got to get with you on that. And we have 1 member, Rod, who, despite repeated attempts to get our gear back, we don't get any responses. We sent a certified letter for return request for the active member. You didn't make it, please turn in your gear, right, Karen?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
notification. What's the next step, Rod? Call the sheriff, or you're on mute?
Yeah, I would say call a sheriff.
All right.
Well, how do you proceed with the sheriff? What do you I mean, I'm trying to think along legal lines. Is it, hasn't
friendly-
stolen it,
It's
so,
friendly persuasion.
We've done it before.
okay,
Yeah,
well,
Russ, when I was, we did that over in West Clinton. Exactly that scenario.
yeah, but I mean, if I was a deputy, I'd say, okay, what grounds am I using to, respond to this person's house and basically order him to turn the gear in? It's like, it doesn't sound like a
It is-
criminal thing. It sounds like more like a
If
civil
he
thing.
has our property and he's
Yeah.
not returning it, that smells like almost theft to me.
Well, I guess you could stretch larceny, because if you have something and don't return it, that falls under larceny too.
It's nothing more than the fire department asking a favor of a friendly sheriff or a friendly trooper to just drop by this guy's house and encourage him to give back to the fire district whatever property he might have. There's no legal standing to do it. It doesn't have any standing in a court of law. but oftentimes it will put the fear of God in someone just to turn the stuff back in as opposed just ignoring a letter from Karen.
It's worked before, and if I will call the guy I know on the Dutchess County Sheriff. If his address on the active member roster is current, we're good to go. I will do that.
Steve, you know
on the
what? What
Go
does
ahead.
he have that needs to be returned? Do we have an itemized list?
Susan will get me that.
Okay.
Okay.
Steve, on the AMR, there's not 11 people indicated as having cancer insurance, and we're paying for 11.
Yeah, and I looked, there were 9. Burkowski, Russell, and Olson, even though they are not currently interior, should be designated with a C for cancer insurance.
Karen, can you talk with Kim to
Yep.
get that
Yep,
changed?
absolutely.
Yeah, but we want to keep those records.
Yeah, Burkowski, Russell, and Olson.
Olson.
Yeah, and then Brandon Masonette. Don, does he qualify? Because I noticed he was not checked.
Is he qualified? He's done the classes. He did not do his bailout. I would say, he's, as Brandon comes and goes, but at this current point, he is not interior, but I would say he does qualify.
He's
yes.
one of the 11 because he has been interior.
Yes, that is correct.
So I think
Now criteria is the 5 years of demonstrated interior work.
And
Now,
that's
if the board wants to just extend it, we have the authority to do that, and that's fine. But as far as qualified for a cancer gap insurance, the law states 5 years of demonstrated and fit test and all that, but you have to really have been an interior for 5 years.
Excuse me, but didn't we at the last month meeting with Rod bring up the fact that the law has changed and everybody is eligible for it now, whether they're interior or exterior?
Well, we were waiting for Rod to comment on that. That might be a good time, Rod.
Exteriors are eligible, but they're not required to be covered.
Oh, I thought it was necessary they were recovered.
Yeah,
It's up to
that
us.
was the word I had at the last meeting, and I misspoke when I relied upon my source for that. And it is not required. It is allowed, but not required.
Okay. So it's up to us whether we want to extend that to the exterior
That's
and
correct.
incur the extra costs.
Yeah, but we didn't budget for it, so we can talk about it budget time later in the year.
Well, I remember Steve's comment last month saying, what about the EMT people and stuff? Everybody's breathing the same stuff. Of course, not the concentration you would be if you were inside the building.
Right. I made a note, if they're not required, like Bob said, it's not in the budget. But I think the 2 people that are missing on the active member roster are Masonette and Russell, Karen.
Okay.
All right.
That brings it up to the 11.
Yes, then that's good.
All right. Bob, there was a communication from Linda Flanagan on the square footage of the firehouse. And
Yeah, I see 6,000 for that. I'll answer her that now that I got
the
stuck with the
replacement
insurance
cost,
again.
there was we wanted to increase, I think we're going to want to increase the replacement cost from like 750 to 840.
Okay.
Is that we can make a motion on that?
Yeah, it'll hit us with the insurance cost, but shouldn't be too much.
Well, no, it shouldn't be too much, and we want to make sure. So I would move that we authorized Bob Trzynski to contact Linda Flanagan to inform her that we want to increase, based upon her recommendation, the insured value of the firehouse from approximately 750,000 to 840,000, and to ensure that our coverage includes guaranteed replacement cost. And I covered a second.
Hold on, I got a question, Steve. When did she give that quote or that idea? When did that?
That was Bob went down and measured the square footage, and it was in excess of what she had estimated, and that was a communication that we got. I could look-
January 9th, I think.
January 9th, okay. And was it 840? Was that the right number?
No, it's 809, 615.
809, okay.
From 700,000.
Right.
Okay,
from
so
700.
modify my numbers in the motion, please. 809, whatever to
615.
809, 615, yep.
Yeah.
from
Could I-
7.
Okay, on the letter she sent us, I'm a little confused, and I don't know how many people have it in front of you, but her fourth paragraph, which is only a one-liner.
Well, let me get a second so we can have discussion.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay, go ahead, Russ.
So on her email to Bob on January 6th, it says on the fourth paragraph, the one-liner, we will not have to bring the value of the first house up to 809,615, which I will request. And it seems like you go one way and flipping the other way. We will not have to bring the value up to 809, which I will request. The paragraph above it says, keep in mind your property is covered on a guaranteed replacement cost basis. So, but I mean, they wouldn't replace it at 809 if you have it insured for 7. They're only going to go up to the maximum your insurance is. I don't know what she meant by that sentence. We will not have to bring the value of the first house up to 809, which I will request.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have a problem with their verbiage. They say you have full replacement cost, and then down a little bit lower it says up to the amount stated in your contract. And that scares me because it would cost more than that if we had a fire. I'd like to get with Rod and just run it by him, and because I've talked with her 3 times on this, and that note is after I've talked to her 3 times. Just to know what the words I should say on this. It's we're going circular now.
Well, she does say, we keep in mind your property is covered on a guaranteed replacement cost. Yes, we have to provide accurate information to the company regarding square footage construction. So if I'm reading it right, they will guarantee replacement costs as long as you have it insured for that much money. So if you had it insured for 700,000, they would guarantee up to that. But if it was 800,000, you're not going to get the other $100,000.
Yeah, the reason I was asking about the date was that building materials lately have gone through the roof. I don't know if everyone's aware of that, but like plywood doubled, sheetrock went up 20% as of January 1st. So stuff is way, way higher than it was just a couple months ago. So
if, if we lost that structure to get it put back in place with all the things we'd have to do with it, we're in the $1.5 million to $2 million.
Rod, what's your understanding of what guaranteed replacement cost means?
Guaranteed replacement cost means that they will replace the building if it's destroyed, even if it exceeds the policy limits. Unless the policy says guaranteed replacement cost up to a dollar amount.
And that's what it doesn't say up to a dollar amount. It says what's specified in your contract, which is equivalent to that, but it's ambiguous. And I've asked Linda multiple times on that. I'll send it over to you so you see what my eyes see, and then we'll proceed on talking to her. So we can authorize the increase in the dollar amount just to get that out of the way. But there's more. I need more information on this.
So what was the motion, Karen, please?
Let's see. I gotta find it. That the authorized Bob Trzynski to contact Linda Flanagan to inform her we want the increase based on her suggestion, the insurance value of the firehouse from $750,000 to $809,615, and to ensure coverage includes guaranteed replacement costs.
I think that's still a valid motion, except that 750 was actually what, Mike or Kevin?
700 even.
700 even, Russ.
Yep.
Okay, so I
From
think that's still a
700 to
valid motion.
809,615.
Yep.
Right, that's right, Karen.
I think it's
Yeah.
still a valid motion and we should authorize Bob to do that. Anybody object to that? All right, Mike, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Russ,
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. And you're gonna seek clarification from her on the exact, is it guaranteed replacement cost up to, or is it guaranteed replacement cost? Is that basically the question, Rod?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'll get the information to Rod and then we'll go over it. We may even do a joint call with her just to be sure.
All right, Karen, now we did not get a signed contract return from TEK. We sent a second one out.
Correct. We sent
Okay.
it out, but we did not get it back yet.
All right, and I contacted her. I haven't heard back from her. I contacted her actually just tonight to follow up after I talked to you. LoSAP.
What comments should I make about that TEK contract? That's problematic.
Well, she responded to the first one I sent. I told you she told us that we were using the old rates, so we modified the rates and sent it back out. And that, how long ago do you think that was? That was probably a week ago, Karen?
Yeah, it was about that.
All right, so I don't think she's overdue at this point. If it's gonna be problematic, we'll know for sure by next month.
Okay.
All right, LoSAP, the posting for 2020 LoSAP for department review was done when?
It'll be posted after the board accepts it tonight.
Okay, so so what is actually the motion that we need to make to accept? We have to accept and authorize to post? Is that what we have to do?
No, just authorize posting. You're not accepting it yet.
Okay, so I would move therefore that we authorize Karen to post 2020 LoSAP results as you have had operating review in your folder, with the intent of giving the department a chance to review and to accept challenges within 30 days. I need a
I'll
second.
second for discussion.
Go ahead.
It's the numbers that Karen's got in front of us here.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about to be posted.
Yep.
No late come modifications.
All right, and the February meeting is when?
I'll get that to you in a second. Just bear with me for a second. March,
It's like,
February 10.
so we're, what's today, 13th? We're gonna be a day shy of 30?
Yeah, so we can do it March. There's no hurry on this. We could hold this off until December 31st and still be okay.
All right.
So we don't have to rush.
All right, so we've, I have a motion. Do we get a second?
Yeah, I seconded it.
All right, do we have any further discussion? Russ, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. You are authorized to post, Karen, please. Thank you. Now, LoSAP. Kind of a double-edged sword here. In some of the seminars that we've had the opportunity to watch, Bob has watched, I think, all of them. I've watched a couple of them on LoSAP. It was stated that if the chief, if we want, we would have to purposefully authorize the chief to fill out the LoSAP response sheets in lieu of signatures, okay? And it's kind of a double-edged sword. Signatures, in my opinion, can be loosey-goosey, right? Anybody can come down an hour after the call is done and sign into the and sign his name on the sheet, whether he participated or not. And I think in the current situation with the current personnel, the tighter ship is to have the chief doing what he's doing, which is writing names on the list. Okay. There may be situations, and there would be situations where where it's exactly the opposite, right? There's also a certain hazard potential to, unless you stood on the parkway during an auto accident in the dark, it's kind of hard to comprehend exactly what the hazards really are, because people just don't slow down. And if you're in a situation where the accident's at Pumpkin and the Parkway, and you have somebody that lives up where I live, right, to have to go all the way, you don't want people running around on the Parkway signing a sheet, to have to go all the way down to the firehouse at 2:00 in the morning to sign in, really just seems counterproductive, because my overwhelming desire is to get back under the covers. So I think in the current situation, the better situation is to authorize the chief to write people's names onto the response list. I can foresee situations with other personnel where that would be counterproductive. And I guess my comment to that would be, we are not writing this in stone. We can always modify if the situation, if we make a decision tonight. So I would move, relative to LoSAP sheets, that we authorize the chief to fill out the LoSAP sheets in their entirety, and to write people's names on the sheet and make that acceptable in lieu of a person's or an active member's signature. And I covered a second for discussion purposes.
Second for discussion.
All right, Bob, you might have an opposing point of view, and I respect that. So go ahead.
The New York State Auditor are going to look for individual names. We have the authority to do in the direction that you're doing it. You're recommending. I'm actually not opposing it. I'm not putting my foot down. The one thing is no waiting for more than a week or two for the chief to have that information from any individual. You can't wait a month, 2, 3, 4, 5 months and then have them appear. That doesn't work. That part doesn't work. So if the chief's doing it and give Karen monthlies, and the board has an opportunity to see what's going on, that's fine. But other than that, it's a real problem. And we're still having that problem apparently going on.
Yeah, and that's kind of a separate situation, which I think we're going to deal with in February, because we all know, because we've seen a challenge. And we'll deal with that in February, because that's when the posting actually happens. Rod, do you have any input relative to what I've moved?
No, I think that is fine. I was just looking at the law up now to see exactly, but I think what you're proposing, to have an officer or have the chief do it. But the concern is, what if the chief is not on the call?
That'll happen.
Yeah, I know your numbers are pretty good.
Yeah.
But what if he's not there? Now you've got someone who's telling the chief who was there. Now it's third-hand information already.
And
It's
down the
certainly has
rabbit
potential
hole
to
we
be
go.
secondhand information, right?
Yeah.
Well, if the chief's not there, the senior member is in charge of a scene, isn't it? I mean, if the chief's not there and the assistant chief's there, he's in charge. If the assistant chief and the chief aren't there, captain. I mean, it kind of goes down the thing of who's in charge of the scene, and it's kind of like the senior person. Interestingly enough, I did watch 2 videos on this. One was called Navigating New York State Services Award Program, or Point Systems. It was about an hour and a half. And they said people should sign themselves in, not to be done by the chief. need documentation for all calls, scenes, etc. I can see that. I don't think there's one answer that covers all. Preferably, it'd be nice at the scene if you had a sheet and it was signed, and maybe the chief could initial each signature showing that it's valid, so nobody can come out later or a week later or something, put his name down. But I can also see that if the people, I can also see the chief saying, well, these people were there and making out a list. So I don't know if it's one particular way you've got to go all the time.
Well, I trust Don with him putting the names down, and for safety, I'm okay with that. It's just that there's some other interpretations that go beyond the pale.
Right, and my motion was that we accept the chief writing that down in lieu of. I did not eliminate the potential for people to write their names on a sheet when the chief wasn't there. Okay.
But we got to address Rod's question. Are we going to allow the lieutenants and captains to do the same?
If the chief isn't there, you know, I guess we'd have to allow either the admission of signatures or a secondhand communication to the chief when it comes time for him to process all that paperwork.
Could I input here? I think I've got to bring it down into a little bit more of a Reader's Digest level here. And we do, of course, there's many facets here. Number one, we are to restrict the number of individuals in the station. So it would not be responsible on our level to tell everybody you have to come back and sign in. So you'd be going against New York State by doing so right now.
Don, you can have those sheets in the vehicles.
Please.
Let's let Don go.
Yeah.
Number two, Steve said it very well. Personal safety on the parkway, until you've been out there anytime, it's just irresponsible to be passing on a sheet for your lousy points to jeopardize your well-being or the well-being of our members. That's just frivolous. It's ignorant. The other aspect that comes in is the run sheets now are done same time. My state reports are done same time. No, this was a year which I had absolutely no life. I made 90% of the calls, much to the joy of my wife. But the sheets, when they're done, are put in the community room. And therefore, even if I'm not on the call, those rare 10% of the times, they're there for my review. Nobody will ever be added to a sheet that was not on a call. Now, don't go apples to oranges or whatever here. We're talking about emergency calls, not activity sheets. Two different things. For the activity sheets, be that a drill, be that a quick call, be that a fire district work-related activity, everybody's already at the station. So in those, if you just go ahead and audit the quick call lists, you will generally see that they had individuals sign in. So therefore, I think the basic conversation here is emergency calls, not activity sheets. Big difference.
That's not true. We're looking at all LoSAP points. This is not just calls.
I know. I know. I'm talking about two different sheets. Not talking about LoSAP. I'm talking about the sheets where individuals signing in or not signing in. And in this case, there's two different sheets: activity sheet, run sheet. I got the run sheet.
And I can see, I don't have a problem with that, Don, you and the run sheet, but these other things there, the activities that maybe you're coming down to the firehouse, you're not in an emergency situation. That's what you were talking about. And I agree with what you're saying there. For safety reasons, it makes perfect sense for the officer in charge to keep track of who was there. But the stuff that's going on at the firehouse, whether it's falls under, whether it falls under training courses, drills, meetings, all these other things that they can get LoSAP points for, including miscellaneous. I think that we need to have a handle on how accurate they are. And I don't know.
I won't sign anything that I do not believe is 100% accurate. You'll not get my signature on anything where I have any question that the individual did not participate or pencil whip it. I don't give free LoSAP points. I don't believe in it.
So
And their
so
LoSAP
we had a
points-
situation, Don, correct
Go
me
ahead.
if I have some of the details a little bit off, please correct me. But I think you and I were at the station when the sirens went off, the tones went off for an automatic fire alarm.
Generally speaking, yes.
And you and I got into 12 and we drove through the better part of the town of Stanford to try to get to the residence.
Good sightseeing. Yep.
Yeah, it was a beautiful trip. Saw a lot of
Yeah.
good countryside, and we were just about there. And Kevin beat us, and he called it in as terminated the alarm, and we came home and via the same beautiful countryside. And I don't know, we were probably going a good 30-35 minutes. Got back to the scene. We were there obviously to participate in some other kind of activity. And then another member showed up about 20 minutes after you had all the paperwork buckled up, including the LoSAP sheet and so on. And that member wondered where the run sheet was so that member could put his or her signature on it. And that member was flatly refused.
Yeah.
And,
And
my point is
there
that
no
it's a
pencil whip.
tighter ship if we
I haven't.
authorize, my opinion is it's a tighter ship if we authorize the chief to do this, not exclusive of signatures, but in lieu of signatures where it's appropriate.
Yeah, that's the basic. We have people that come, if you came to a fire or came down here to stand by us, you're welcome to if not needed. Example, Steve, what was it, Monday night?
Monday night, we had a company meeting.
I sent a crew with the tanker operation, mutual aid structure fire to West Clinton. I got a crew together. Steve and I have done it many times together. You only need 3 people to run the tanker operation. So I assigned 3 people to take the tanker over, everybody will stay. If you wanted to stay for the duration of the call until the tanker came back home and was put back in service, you're welcome to, but if you left prior to the tanker returning, don't sign the sheet. There's no sheet. You had to be at the station for the duration of the call. So yes, Steve, thank you. We are tight.
And that enforced that, and giving the chief the ability to write those names down enforced that higher level of accountability. And that's why I make the motion. And again, it's not to exclude people signing, it's to allow the chief to put names down in lieu of a signature.
Sounds good.
Where are we on that? Did we second it or?
We have a motion, we have a second. If there's no other discussion, we can vote. Any other discussion? Mike, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Russ?
Aye.
Bob?
I'm going to abstain on that one.
Kevin?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well, so that motion carries 4-0 to 1 abstention. All right.
And Steve, we're going to continue a derivation of this conversation in February, correct?
Yes, in February, we're going to have to deal with that challenge.
Okay.
And there will be a lot of tangential information, I think, relative to that. I do have from the company a list of fundraisers that are planned for 2020, fundraiser and social activities, not exclusively fundraisers. I want to read off the ones that are closest, because one certainly will occur before the January meeting, and the other, to be considerate, whether we approve or disapprove, we should let the company know at this meeting, because they would have to make plans and purchases prior to the February meeting. So the activities are a chicken barbecue on January 30th. No alcohol will be served, takeout only at the firehouse. The second is a fish fry, which are held on Fridays, February 19th, 26th, March 5th, 12th, 19th, 26th, and April 2nd. No alcohol will be served. 2020 expenses were $2,166. The profit was $1,600 and $1,660 over the top of that. Average number of people each week was 45. But in this case, it again would be takeout only from the firehouse. So those are the two we have to consider tonight. There's also an Easter egg hunt, April 3rd.
We doubt it.
This is not a fundraiser. It's a community event. There's no collections or money being exchanged. The lobster dinner would be September 25th. Project a pig roast for October 9th. Both the lobster dinner and the pig roast, beer will be served and a liquor license will be obtained. We don't need to vote on that. And then the Santa run is projected for December 18th. Again, not a fundraiser, but a social activity. So we need to consider tonight the chicken barbecue. There's a maximum of 100 tickets at $12 a ticket, no alcohol served, all takeout. And we need to consider tonight the fish fry for Fridays in February, March, and then April 2nd, beginning the 19th of February. So I would move that we authorize the department to hold the chicken barbecue on January 30th for takeout only. And that we authorize the department to hold their fish fry commencing February 19th, all the Fridays of Lent through April 2nd. Again, takeout only, work to be done at the firehouse. I covered a second.
Second.
Okay, any discussion on either of these two events?
Sound delicious.
And that is true. The fish is outstanding. Okay, any other discussion? Russ, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Up to the committee, do we want to consider the other ones, or do I want to give this to Karen and she can distribute that and we can consider the rest at the February meeting?
Let's do it later.
Okay, sold. All right, did everyone get in his folder a copy of this postcard?
No.
Front and back.
Postcard.
Well,
No.
then you're gonna have to wait while I put my tongue out and search for it on my email.
You can't just show it up on your screen like you just.
Yeah, show it up on your
Yeah, that was
screen. We might be able to read it.
Good.
Yeah.
Hold on. Here we go. Susan DeHaan.
Don't get us all excited just to let us down here, Steve.
Open in browser. Okay, now I gotta go back here. Zoom. Share screen. Click there. Share. Ba-bam. What do you say?
Oh, look at that.
Woohoo. Save your applause.
Yeah.
So the intent here, I believe, correct me, Susan, if you're still on the line, is to
I am still.
demonstrate that the fire department and rescue squad are very much engaged, very active, and have a very high response rate. And I think it is worth communicating that to the community, as well as the second part, which is to tell people that we need help and we need members, and inform people of community events that we have forthcoming as soon as COVID lets up: CPR, first aid, fire safety classes. So I believe, Susan, that you said that $85 was the printing cost for 750 of these. Postage.
So it's actually, Steve, if I may interrupt you, it's actually lower. There happens to be a 50% sale that's going on Vistaprint. And so it's actually cheaper to print 1,000 of the 4x6 cards, which would be about $55.
Okay, and then postage was gonna be 35 cents each times we figure 750 households.
That's correct.
All right, so that's 262. So 262 plus 55 is 317. I would move that we authorize the fire company and rescue squad to print and mail the postcard, as you see the proof in front of you, at the expense of the district to the tune of not to exceed $400.
I'll second.
Discussion. Okay, any discussion or input on this?
Very good idea.
All aye.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, Bob, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Russ,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries.
Make sure you mail a
Yeah.
postcard to County 911 Center. Attention,
Ah,
Dana.
good. Okay.
Thank you.
The other thing that I just want to say about it is that the mailing list, I have asked Teresa Stegner, the tax collector, to give me an updated list so that we make sure that they go to the right places with the addresses.
All right. Now, the last thing I have on the agenda before we go to public comment is the Sharon ambulance. And I think last meeting, we were very much convinced that this would be a good opportunity. I was in contact with Tom, I can't remember his last name, at Sharon. And he did state that he would like a letter of intent if we move tonight to purchase the ambulance. And obviously, Rod, I would want your help a little bit with a letter of intent to cover changes in mechanical condition, changes in condition due to collision, clean title. What other caveats might we put in there to
When do you expect to get it?
by May, June timeframe?
I'll do the drafting and I'll send it to you and Karen to put the particulars in, like the year and the model and
Right, and we have all that information.
right.
Kevin, I believe, did talk to juniors, who are the people who have been doing all
Talking about the ambulance fund.
or the vast majority of the maintenance on the rig, and they state that it's in very good shape. It will fit in the firehouse with a whole lot more room to spare than what 3838 fits in the firehouse. We'll have more than that 1.5 inch clearance we get with the tanker when that pulls out. So, do we want to combine this with a vehicle strategy? We need to sell a vehicle. If
A vehicle or the existing?
Well, that's what we want to decide, right? And there was talk that a good decon vehicle would be the old ambulance, and we could sell the support vehicle. I could also see it. There's no hill I'm going to die on here, right? If we already have the support vehicle, it offers some other utility other than what a converted ambulance does. I'm going to make a motion that we authorize me to sign a letter of intent. I'm not bashful to say that, we need to sell either the support vehicle or the ambulance. And if we want to fight it out tonight, that's great. If we want to fight it out at another night, that's great too. So I'm going to move that I be authorized to sign a letter of intent as prepared by Rod, stating our desire to purchase the Sharon ambulance to the tune of $30,000, so long as come May and June timeframe, right, it is still in a condition that would warrant us to complete the deal, and I covered a second on that motion.
Second for discussion.
All right, Bob, what say ye?
I'm okay with that as long as we sell the existing ambulance that we've talked about. The frame and the engine isn't really up to carrying its box. There are some stability issues, and with the rehab vehicle is an entity that does what it was purchased for. And it can be modified for if you're going to do decon, if that's the direction you're going to go. But playing around with, this happened with the brush truck. Art and myself, and I forget who else, we gave no problem with a new brush truck. And then all of a sudden, oh, we're keeping the old one because we absolutely need that. But the discussion was, well, we've got to get a new one. I don't want to see that happening with the ambulance. We could use that money to help pay for the new ambulance because it wasn't in the budget to begin with.
Probably my motion should include how we're going to pay for it, shouldn't it, Rod? You're on mute.
Yes. Although do you have the money in the general fund to pay for it?
Yes, but I should probably include that as part of the motion.
Yeah.
All right. So, and I'm not taking away from what you're saying, Bob, but I would like to, with your permission, modify the motion to include to be paid from the 2020 general fund surplus.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So that's going to be part of you're going to modify that motion accordingly. So I'm looking for everybody else to give input on this. Russ, Mike, Kevin, Bob stated very strong opinion, and I have a hard time disputing the fact that the ambulance, we have stated part of the reason that it's not a good fit is because it is so difficult with the van style to repair, and that it is heavy relative to the frame. So, I seek everybody's input on this one.
Well, Steve, I would have to trust you guys on this because you guys know the vehicles much better than I do. If I've seen them 4 times, that's about it.
May I weigh in on this? May I weigh in on this? I think I have a little information to offer.
Go ahead.
First, Bob, we never looked to get rid of 63. It's a mini pumper, not a brush truck. So there was never in the whole plan to get rid of that vehicle.
It wasn't communicated to the board before our vote, Don.
I was a little surprised, Don, although I do acknowledge your statement that that 63 was never a brush truck. But I in honesty, I was a little surprised that we opted to keep it, but I didn't fight it. Go ahead.
All right, that's fine. I never, that was never part of the agenda that I knew of. My take and the take of my officer staff is that we sell the current rehab decon vehicle and keep the current ambulance. And there's many levels for doing that, notwithstanding the mileage and already the rehab decon vehicle also, as it becomes the current ambulance, will also be our ice rescue vehicle. We lost the boat, very wisely did, where our ice rescue, cold water rescue, immersion suits, and life rings, et cetera, were retained in. If we utilize the current 71 as our decon rehab and also ice rescue, the cabinets on the outside would be utilized for that. There'd be other weights. I hear Bob's and not disagreeing that, okay, yes, but within this, the weights would actually probably be reduced than are on it now. One of the large contributing factors, which is a real factor, is it fits in the current bays, so that getting another ambulance, smart move. Keeping the old ambulance for rehab, decon, ice water rescue vehicle, smart move. It fits in the bays. It's just had some major repair done to it. It's got new tires. No comment from Steve. Thank you. It's got new brakes. It's been reworked. We know it. We've had it since it's been new. It's in respectable shape. I think we'd be far better served to sell the rehab vehicle that's sitting outside and keep the ambulance. And I also believe you'd retain more money by doing that. I think you get more money for the vehicle outside than you would for the current ambulance. Steve, what's your take on the value of those two?
Well, I mean, and I was going to ask that question. I don't know what we could get for the current ambulance. I'm guessing it would be topside 15 to 20.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Maybe.
As a food truck, I'm guessing the support vehicle, I got to sneeze, excuse me. We might be able to, excuse me, get a little bit more. You know, we could turn it into an economic decision.
I got a couple of questions if you're done, Steve.
Go ahead, Mike.
Take
A couple of questions. One, will the ambulance, oh, sorry. Doesn't matter. Will the ambulance and the one that we want to keep, which would be the older ambulance, would they fit in back to back in the one
Yes.
bay? They do.
They will fit.
Lengthwise. Okay. And then my other question is the rehab stuff that's on the rehab vehicle, would there be a cost to switching that over to the ambulance?
It'd be done in-house.
It can be done in-house. Okay.
I think you also get, I think when Don talked to the guys about the stretcher, I think they said we could sell that.
Oh, yeah. No, that's right, Steve. Remember the stretcher? If we, either way, but if you sell the ambulance or if we keep it as decon rehab, what's the gain? $10,000. You didn't add in there for the stretcher. Remember that the stretcher would be sold and that has a market value of, I forgot exactly what it was. Sue was there, several $1,000s that you'd also retain above and beyond for the stretcher. It's in 71 now.
Todd, are you going to load up a generator on that ambulance if you go that direction?
Yeah. Yeah, all work would be done in-house, Bob.
That would be a portable, would not be an attached generator. It would be a portable generator.
Slide out. Yeah. Yeah, we do it.
The stretcher you're talking about, isn't that the thing that Susan was just talking about, which is almost obsolete and would cost a lot to repair or something? Which you
in comparison, when the tech was down here, Sue, are you still there?
She in the green.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the question we asked him of what that would bring, and it was a respectable figure.
It was me. I was there. He said,
What was it?
He said $1,500.
No, that's for the ridiculous offer you didn't accept. Yeah, he said no. That's what somebody throw at you, but it's a few $1,000s anyway, I believe.
Yeah, but I thought she said earlier that this item was very old, would be very hard to get parts for, and be costly to repair. It sounds like it's an obsolete thing that I don't know.
That's why it's not $25,000, Judge.
I mean, it's still worth money. And
It's still worth money. If it was like the one we're getting in the Sharon rig, if that's the direction, it's up here. You got to remember that everything has value. I mean, look at your yard. So that so therefore,
Can I say something?
there you go. I was waiting for you.
I know, sorry, it's busy. And so the point is that to keep it as a hydraulic lift, that the panel, once that goes, that can't be replaced. However, that stretcher still has value because it can be manually lifted, as we have recently found out.
Yeah.
So it does retain some value, Judge.
All right, well, my concern about the choice of vehicles to dispose of is which one you could get the most for. I find it hard to believe, and I'm not familiar with either one of them that much, that you could get more for what I call the hot dog wagon than you would for the ambulance.
Oh, I believe so all day long. Absolutely.
What would that be usable for?
Hot dog wagon.
Food truck.
People looking for it.
No,
We already have somebody
I've looked
interested.
at I've looked at food trucks on Craigslist just to see what the market is, and I'm pretty firmly convinced you could get 20,000 for that.
Well, and especially because it's COVID times that with restaurants being shut down, more people are looking at food trucks because it's virtually all takeout.
If you could get equal to what you could get for that ambulance, and the ambulance would fit in the bay with the other one in front of it, so you could have both vehicles inside, then it would make more sense to me to keep the current one. But like I say, that would be predicated on getting a good price for the present decon vehicle, or whatever you call it, recon vehicle, and having both vehicles being able to be inside out of the weather.
Russ, what I'm worried about is the maintenance on the old ambulance going forward.
Honestly, I'm worried about maintenance on either vehicle because they don't get run enough, and that new ambulance, neither one of them is going to get run enough if that's the vehicle we keep. I mean, and that's an ongoing battle. That's what we saw with that's what we've seen with other vehicles that we've had. You know, how many miles a year do we put on that current rehab vehicle? I wouldn't think we put 500 miles on this year.
Well, I mean, this is kind of a humorous thing, but I have 5 vehicles on the road, and I make a purpose of driving every vehicle. I alternate which vehicles I drive, so I exercise them, I might say. And you have to take the vehicle that's not being used very much, and you take it out on a drill. You take it out and you just keep it moving so your things aren't seizing up and stuff.
Now my perspective here is that the important thing is that we get a letter of consent out to Sharon. I think it's equally important that we're in agreement that we need to sell a vehicle. One of the basic tenets of providing emergency care is that you need to give the patient the opportunity to make informed consent. And I'd be much more comfortable instead of, we think we can get this for the ambulance. We know we can get that for the cot. We think maybe, unless, but it is old. And, you know, I would want to verify that the length of that new ambulance and the length of the current ambulance, we could actually get it in. Because I don't know if you remember, Don, when we had the ambulance and 63 back to back, it was awful tight in that spot.
Yeah, let me follow up with that. And in the comment that the judge made, totally agree. The vehicles need to be run Monday nights, take them out, run them, and do that. And that includes all the vehicles. The ambulance doesn't need much more running, but so that's absolutely true. You got to run them. I would verify.
We do a pretty good job of running the 2 bigger vehicles and the ambulance, but the others kind of suffer sometimes.
Yes, I'd verify that for you, Steve.
All right,
and make sure. Matter of fact, it wouldn't be that hard to do to me. Play around with the ambulance tomorrow and see if I can put that ambulance where the even to the point of where the decon trailer was. But I'd verify that for you. I think that's a good moving forward idea.
All right. So I think
Steve, I want to kick a dead horse.
Yeah.
That generator on the hot dog wagon has to be fixed to get the maximum amount of dollar amount. Nobody's going to buy it if it doesn't work.
Work with him on that.
So
As is.
No. Bob's right. Bob's absolutely. There you go. Mark that down.
Holy smokes.
Karen, put that in.
I have that down in caps.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, I got it over early this year.
So I would like to vote on the motion with the understanding that there's a definite inference that we are absolutely going to sell one of these vehicles. Does anybody have any doubts or argument to the fact that we need to sell one of these vehicles? Mike, is that your understanding?
That sounds great.
Russ, you understand that we need to sell one of that vehicle? You're in agreement with that?
Yes, I am.
All right, Kevin?
Absolutely.
Bob?
Yes.
All right. So therefore, I would like us to vote on the motion. Can you read it, please, Karen?
I gotta find it now.
Keeping the current ambulance is the way to go.
Don't whisper.
Have you had the ambulance to the new Vassar Brothers Medical Center Emergency Department yet?
Not, we, Don has tried to back it in once. What, you had to bring both mirrors in, Don? And,
Yeah,
It don't
I had to suck both mirrors all the way in, and you couldn't get it in with the mirror sticking out, number one. And number two, once you did that and backed all the way up to the loading dock, the nose is still sticking out 3 feet. It
That's
doesn't
right.
fit.
It doesn't fit.
It's a multi-million-dollar building and they made a boo-boo like that.
Well, they didn't make a boo-boo because the commercial ambulances all fit in it,
Just barely.
just barely. So the volunteer ambulances, which are generally the box style, commercial ambulances are generally the van style. The commercial ambulances all fit in there, barely.
all right, Karen, you got that motion?
Yes, yes. The motion is to authorize Steve to sign a letter of intent as prepared by Rod, stating our desire to purchase the Sharon ambulance to the tune of for $30,000 as long as come the May and June timeframe. It is still in a condition that would warrant us to complete the deal. It is to be paid for from the 2020 general fund surplus.
All right, that being said, Mike, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Russ,
Aye.
Kevin,
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. That motion carries. Couple other small items. Decon room, I talked to Rich Biot, which is one of the contractors. He's very much involved in a very important project right now.
He can put that on hold.
No, he's very much involved in a very important project. When he's done with the current project, I'll take him down and we'll take a look. There was one other thing.
You were gonna talk to Halton too, I think.
Yeah, I wanted to see where Rich came in and if it was low enough. Yeah, Halton's kind of proud of what he does, at least from my perspective. But I wanted to see what Rich's initial thoughts were, and if it was low enough, maybe we could just get away with
Out getting the 2 verbal estimates.
yeah.
And Dan Halton also started his own business, I guess, and he might be
Dan
looking,
did, really?
yeah, he might be looking for some work too.
All right, I'll make a note of that.
Yeah.
All right, so but when Richie's through with that project, we'll get him down there. That's when he said he'd take a look at it. Any other business from anybody else?
Steve,
more
your ISO effort?
Oh, West Clinton, I still haven't heard back from West Clinton at all.
Okay.
Despite repeated entreaties to respond, I've not heard a thing back.
Okay.
Any other business?
Yes. The 2020 sponsor approval form is supposed to be signed by all the commissioners to be returned to the fire department so the listing can be posted for at least 30 days. So I said I included a copy of it in the package that I sent to everybody.
Okay.
So each one of us are going to sign independently and you're going to combine them?
And then I can combine them if that works. It should work.
Okay.
I thought, wasn't it an exception so that by Don signing it, we did, oh no, I guess, I see you're right, yeah. Okay, so we each sign that and drop that off into the box too?
Please, yes.
Now,
there's
Karen,
five-
do you want us to sign in different spots?
I was gonna say, there's 5 slots. I just signed the top spot. So Russ, why don't you do 2, Mike 3, Kevin 4, and Bob 5?
I already signed the top one.
Here, I sign everything.
Too late.
It doesn't matter if they're all stapled together.
All right.
Okay, Steve, I got another question on LoSAP.
Yep.
With what Rod said, we just need to post it. We don't need to authorize. I've got a notarized document from Don and Karen for the certification in here. That's the information that we're going to post. That's what that's for.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. But okay, so we're good on that then.
Okay.
Steve, I got a question for Karen.
Yep.
The code of ethics on top, Karen, date of acknowledgement? Are we putting a date in there?
Yeah, just put the date that yes, put the date in.
Okay,
Mine says 2016.
yeah,
Well, I drew a line through
Yeah,
2016.
just draw a line through it.
Alongside of it.
Yeah, just do that.
I don't even find mine. Oh, there it is. All right, so we got to get those signed and get those back to Karen. We're commissioners. I don't have any.
And just for everybody's information, including mine, the 3 district chiefs have to sign one also, yes?
Yeah,
Yes.
I gave them to Don already for
Okay.
him and Kevin. And I actually have Jim's. back.
Okay.
All right, any other business?
What about the treasurer, Karen? Does the treasurer have to sign one too again?
You have to sign one too, and I'll get that to the firehouse for you.
I think.
oh, God.
I just want to make sure paperwork's okay. because I don't wanna-
Okay, anything from the public? Elliot, Heather, Art, Glenda, I thought was here at one point. I don't see her anymore. We'll ask to unmute there. We're gonna deal with facilities committee next. I know they've been doing a lot of work, and I warned Kevin that we probably would run out of time. And I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin very soon.
I ran out of time half an hour ago, Steve.
All right, all right. So that's gonna be a major emphasis of the February meeting.
And we'll have a lot more information at that point too. So that'll be good.
All right, Heather, Elliot, Art, anything to say from the public?
No.
All right, then I covered a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion to adjourn.
I need a second.
Second,
Bob, what's your pleasure?
Aye.
Russ,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Kevin?
aye.
I vote aye as well. Motion carries. The meeting is adjourned at 9:21. I thank you very much. That was a productive 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Hey, Steve, get the company representatives to come to the February meeting.
Yes, will do.
That 1402 filing is due on the 15th by the
I,
company.
I sent Ed a reminder on that. Thank you for prompting me, but I did send Ed, the company president, a reminder on that. All right, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Aye.